Have you ever stood before a mirror and asked yourself, who is that person standing there, and where did the hero of 30 years ago disappear to? There is a silent ache that many of us over 50 carry, not from physical ailment, but from trying to wear a costume of the past that no longer fits the soul of the present. Welcome back to Buddha Essence Wisdom. If this message touches your heart, please subscribe to join our community of 60+ souls seeking peace. Your support is the fuel that keeps these videos coming and allows our message to reach those who need it most. My friends, today, I want to talk about an invisible burden clinging to the self of the past. I want you to imagine this. I once mentored a practitioner here in California who was a high-powered CEO. After retirement, he fell into a deep void because no one called him sir anymore. There were no more million-dollar decisions to make. He felt useless because he was still gripping onto a title that had already expired. Have you ever felt that way? Perhaps grieving because you are no longer the supermom who managed everything or the man with the strength to move mountains. In Zen, we have a beautiful saying, every river must flow. If a river tries to hold onto a specific bend or a certain waterfall, it becomes a stagnant pond. Your identity, whether it was a powerful career or a youthful body, was simply a mask the world lent you for a season. When the script of life changes, you must have the courage to lay that mask down. From my years of experience, I've seen that only when you let go of who you used to be can you truly begin to be who you are now. This isn't losing yourself, it is your liberation. You are not useless, you are simply transitioning from a human doing to a human being. Let your river flow freely toward the vast ocean of inner peace. Now let's travel a bit deeper. After we lay down those old masks, we often realize our hands are still cramped. Why? Because we've spent decades white-knuckling the steering wheel of life. We believe that if we just plan enough, worry enough, or supervise enough, we can keep chaos at bay. I want you to imagine this. Think of your life as a great vast ocean. You're in a small boat, exhausting yourself, trying to flatten the waves with your bare hands. Does it work? Or does it just leave you breathless and broken? Have you ever felt that exhaustion? That weight in your chest when things don't go exactly as you planned? In my years of working with seniors, I've noticed that our need for control is often just a thin veil for fear. We fear that without our constant vigilance, our families will fall apart or our health will fail. But from a Buddhist perspective, this is a profound misunderstanding of reality. Think about your own body right now. Your heart is beating, your lungs are breathing, and millions of cells are regenerating. You aren't doing any of it. Life is living itself through you. When you finally release that exhausting grip, something miraculous happens. The boat doesn't sink. Instead, you finally learn how to sail with the wind instead of fighting it. Letting go of control isn't about being passive. It's about having the wisdom to distinguish between the small pebble you can move and the mountain that belongs to the earth. There is a lie that society whispers into our ears as we age. It tells us that our story is already written, that the ink is dry, and that we are now just reading the final predictable chapters. We start saying to ourselves, I'm too old to learn that, or it's too late to heal that relationship. But I want you to imagine this. Think of your life not as a book, but as a live performance on a stage. In the world of filmmaking, we have what we call a new take. No matter how many times we've messed up the scene, the director can always shout, action, and we begin again. In the eyes of the Buddha, every single breath is a new take. The past is nothing but a memory. The future is just a dream. The only reality that exists is this very moment. Have you ever felt like you've missed your chance? I want to tell you. Awakening has no retirement age. I've seen people find more peace in their 70s than they ever did in their 30s. Scientific studies on neuroplasticity now confirm what the Buddha taught centuries ago. Our brains and our spirits can grow and change until our very last breath. Whether it's picking up a paintbrush for the first time or finally learning to forgive someone from 20 years ago, now is the perfect time. Don't let the calendar steal your potential. Your soul doesn't have gray hair, and it is never ever too late to wake up to the beauty of being alive. As we journey further into our later years, we encounter a very stubborn mountain to climb: our own pride. For decades, you were the one everyone leaned on. You were the provider, the fixer, the strong one. Now when your body whispers that it needs a hand, perhaps with a heavy grocery bag or a drive to the doctor, you might feel a sting of shame. You might think, I've become a burden. But I want you to imagine this. Think of an old, majestic oak tree in a forest. It looks like it stands alone, doesn't it? But beneath the soil, its roots are entwined with every other tree. They share nutrients, hold each other up during the storms. This is what Buddhism calls interdependence. No one in this universe truly stands alone. Have you ever felt like you were less than because you couldn't do it all yourself anymore? I want to share a secret with you from my years in the monastery. When you allow someone to help you, you aren't just receiving, you are giving. You are giving that person the gift of generosity. By accepting their hand, you give them the chance to plant a seed of kindness, to feel the joy of being useful. If you refuse all help, you are actually closing the door on their opportunity to practice love. So let go of that heavy armor called pride. Accepting help is not a sign of weakness. It is a brave acknowledgement of our sacred connection to one another. Throughout your life, you might have been taught that being good means putting everyone else first. You poured your heart into your children, your career, and your community until there was nothing left for yourself. You believe that love is measured by how much you suffer for others. But as we age, we must realize a profound truth. Compassion is incomplete if it does not include yourself. I want you to imagine this. Think of an old oil lamp. It wants to light up the whole room to keep everyone warm and safe. But the lamp has run out of oil. Can it still shine, Numpel? It flickers and goes out, leaving everyone in the dark. You are that lamp. If you are running on empty, your kindness often becomes tinged with hidden resentment or pure exhaustion. Have you ever felt guilty for just wanting to say no and rest? I want to tell you something from my heart. Caring for yourself is not selfishness. It is wisdom. In Buddhism, we learn that you cannot pour from an empty cup. When you take a nap, when you set boundaries with your adult children, or when you spend time nourishing your own spirit, you are refilling your oil. By being a healthy, peaceful version of yourself, you are actually giving a far greater gift to those around you than a tired, depleted version could ever offer. Love yourself as much as you love others, because you too are a precious being in this universe. One of the deepest quiet sufferings in later life is the gap between the children we hoped for and the adults they actually became. We poured our lives into them, making countless sacrifices, and in return, we secretly wrote a script for how they should live, who they should marry, and how they should love us back. When they don't follow that script, we feel disappointed, even betrayed. But I want you to imagine this. Think of yourself as a gateway, a sacred archway. Your children are like travelers who came through you to enter this world, but they do not belong to you. They are independent souls with their own karma, their own lessons, and their own unique destiny to fulfill. Have you ever felt hurt because your child chose a path you didn't approve of? In Buddhism, we practice equanimity upekkha. It is a love so vast that it allows others to be free. I want you to look at your family like a garden. You don't get angry at a rose for not being a lily or a sunflower for turning toward its own light. You simply water them and watch them bloom as they are. When you let go of your requirements for their lives, the pressure vanishes. And in that space of freedom, something beautiful often happens. Your children may actually move closer to you because they no longer feel judged, but truly seen. Love them for who they are, not for who you wanted them to be. As we grow older, there is a subtle temptation to withdraw. We tell ourselves that people are too much work, that the world has become too fast, or that we just want to avoid being a nuisance. We start staying home more, letting our friendships drift like autumn leaves. But I must warn you, While solitude can be a sanctuary, chronic isolation is a poison for the soul. I want you to imagine this. Think of a single glowing coal taken out of a fireplace. On its own, it quickly turns gray and cold, but when it stays among the other coals, it keeps its heat and glows bright red. We are just like those coals. We were born into this human web not to be islands, but to keep each other warm. Have you ever felt that the walls of your home were slowly becoming the walls of a prison? I've seen so many people in their 60s at the community center who thought their lives were over, only to find a second wind by simply sharing a cup of tea or a story with a neighbor. In Buddhism, the Sangha, the community is one of the three jewels. It is a refuge. Don't let fear or pride keep you behind closed doors. Reach out, join a group, or simply smile at the person in the park. Your presence, your wisdom, and your laughter are needed. We are the threads of a single tapestry, and when you reconnect, you don't just find others, you find yourself again. Finally, we arrive at a subtle but heavy weight, the ironclad beliefs we've carried for decades. We often hold on to our opinions like treasures, thinking, this is how the world works, or in my day, people knew better. But we must realize that a map from the last century cannot guide you through the terrain of today. What was once a truth might now be a burden that separates you from the people you love. I want you to imagine this. Think of your mind as a glass of water. If the water is frozen solid into a block of ice, those are your rigid views. Nothing can enter, and the glass might even crack under pressure. But if you melt that ice back into clear fluid water, it becomes adaptable, fresh, and life-giving. This is what we call beginner's mind, Shoshin. Have you ever felt frustrated because the world no longer matches your rules? Instead of looking at the changing world with a judging eye, try looking through the lens of curiosity. Ask, why subtle, instead of saying no. When you approach a conversation, especially with the younger generation, as a beginner who knows nothing, you open a door to wonder. You become a student of life once again. This beginner's mind is the true fountain of youth. It keeps your spirit flexible, your heart open, and your mind vibrant. Let go of being right and choose instead to be present. If today's reflection resonates with you, you're welcome to support the channel by liking, sharing, or subscribing. Each small action you take is a source of energy that helps me continue creating mindful content for the @Buddha Essence Wisdom community.